What's up guys, welcome to Rhinofeed. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Vortex Cypher. This is a 65% keyboard, built like the Poker 2, so it has a plastic case, steel plate, laser etched PBT keycaps, and it's at a bit of a lower price point than the Race 3, so it's about $95 to $100 instead of $140. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget that there is also a written review in the description as well. The Cypher has dedicated arrow keys and dedicated navigational keys, so home, page up, page down, and end. What it doesn't have is an additional top row like the Race 3, so there's no dedicated function keys if that's important to you. For me, however, the dedicated arrow keys have really come in handy, been great for writing, and even the navigational keys are great for writing as well. So I really like this layout. I just wish they had maybe a more premium model of it with an aluminum case and perhaps better keycaps, if possible. I really enjoyed the die-sub keycaps on the Race 3. The split spacebar is another option on this keyboard, and I don't know if it really matters. It's not a particularly small keyboard like the Vortex Core or a 40%, something like that. So I tried to program the left spacebar to be backspace, enter, function. I just tried lots of different things and nothing really stuck. I still found myself wanting to use that left spacebar as an actual spacebar occasionally. Of course, anything that you might find lacking in a small layout like this is on the function layer. And there's a ton of different things. You have all the function keys, insert, delete, pause, scroll lock, print screen. You've got some media keys. You got previous, play, pause, next, volume up, volume down, mute. You even have a few delay options as far as programming. A lot on the function layer, so check out the full article if you want to see everything. They have switched to USB Type-C, so they include a 1.8 meter rubber cable with that. Very pleased to see that on their newest keyboard. I love this reversible connection. It's been great. As is custom with smaller layouts, there's just rubber feet on the bottom with no height adjustment feet. The dimensions are 12.4 inches by 4.2 inches by 1.7 inches, and it weighs 18.5 ounces, which is about 10 ounces lighter than the Poker 3. The keycaps are back to the old keycaps that were found on the Poker 2. They are 1.3 millimeter, relatively thick gray PBT keycaps. They're not bad keycaps to type with, but it's mostly the lettering that I'm disappointed with because they're still using an off-white infill or laser engraved, and they're also still using Bank Gothic, which is an okay font, but it's not my favorite font. They have a lot of switch options though this time around. They have Cherry MX Black, brown, blue, red, clear, silver, and they're bringing the silent switches here, so they have silent black and silent red. Very nice to see. I'm actually kind of a fan of silent reds. Vortex knows their stabilizers and continues to impress me with them. They are just a slightly modified stock Cherry stabilizer, but they're not scratchy. They're lubed from the factory and they don't rattle, they're not loud. Really nice, smooth stabilizers. I'm a big fan of them. This particular keyboard does not have backlighting, and I don't know if backlighting will become available or not. So far, I don't see any pre-orders available for backlit models. This is a small but random note that most of the LEDs on this keyboard are rather dim. Personally, I think that this is a feature because when you're in the programming modes, if you're on layer 2, 3, or 4, which is your programmed layers, the LEDs are going to light up 100% of the time. So they could be distracting, but thankfully they're dim and they're not too annoying. Also a small note, on my particular keyboard, the caps lock LED was not lighting up. I don't think this will be an issue on the final production run, probably just because I have an engineering sample. Programming is very simple on the Cypher, very similar to the Poker 2 and Poker 3. Only difference is that the Cypher has 100 characters per key instead of the 32 character limitation on the Poker 3. So that's a nice upgrade. You can do a lot more with it now. Before I program for you, I just want to mention that there is Colmac available by pressing function plus page up. Dvorak available by pressing function plus page down, and you can toggle the Windows key on and off by pressing function plus end. If you're in Colemak or Dvorak and want to go back to QWERTY, just press function plus home. So, to begin programming, first select a programmable layer. There are 3. Function plus comma gives you the first programmable layer, gives you a red LED. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Function plus period gets you a green LED, and function plus / gives you a blue LED. So let's just go to the first programmable layer. By the way, the default layer is function plus M, and that's, of course, default. You can't change anything about it. So let's program on the first programmable layer. To enter programming mode, just press function plus control, then hit the key that you'd like to program. So I'm going to say the number 1 key. That will begin flashing, and everything I type from now on is going to be recorded. So I'm going to do a macro to start Rocket League. Windows plus R, and you have to type. I can't just use that shortcut. Run game ID /252950 and enter. Now that's my macro. So just press PN to end that macro recording and press function plus control to exit programming mode. And let's just play some Rocket League. That's really all there is to it. It's very easy. And part of the great reasons to own a Vortex keyboard, because everything is saved on board and no software is required. Vortex is also working on their new NPC web-based keyboard layout editor. So you'll be able to click on a key and type. The only issue is it's a little bit tedious at this time. So if I click on a key, I also have to click that key again, click this drop down and click this up arrow. And that is to release the key. If I don't do that, I'll get an error message when I click this complete button. So right now it's very early stages. Cypher is listed here, but you're not going to be able to flash the firmware just yet. The only keyboard that you can flash the firmware on is the Core, because you can download the firmware right here on their website. They also have an instruction guide on their website that you can go ahead and read and just check out the process and see how it all works. Basically, if you do the software programming, you'll have to flash the firmware every time. If you stick with hardware-based programming, personally I think it's a little bit easier because you don't have to deal with all this stuff. And I don't really know what advantage you gain by using this. So we'll see where it goes. Maybe development will add some more features, and yeah, maybe it might be a cool thing. To sum it all up, the Cypher has dedicated arrow keys, dedicated navigational keys, an option for a split spacebar, lots of switch choices, has a plastic case steel plate, laser etched PBT keycaps, and USB Type-C. It's only $95 to $100, so the lower price point makes up for the fact that it is not including die-sub keycaps and not including an aluminum case. You just have to decide whether it's worth it to spend that extra $40 to get those features.